Hey guys, Vhannah here. You're about to watch an awesome episode of my mentor and I speaking some good stuff about, encouraging you to follow your dreams. So I hope that you guys like this episode and that you stick around to watch the next part. Enjoy. Vhannah's Corner. Welcome everybody to the show. Today I have on one of my mentors, Uncle Charles. He is coming to give you some good wisdom. And I feel like I want him to tell my vital Vhannahs about yourself.
So you want to know about me?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you do a lot.
Well, that is true. I've done a lot over my 25 years of life on this earth. Oh, no, it's not 25. It's like 3 times 25. No, not quite.
It's a lot of years, guys.
Okay. But anyway, I'm from Houston, Texas originally. Mm-hmm. I came to New York a long, long time ago in 1988 to work for CBS News. And I worked at CBS News for about almost 33 years. Retired from there, went to another channel, another network, worked there for about a year. Mm-hmm. And then now I'm at another channel helping build that out. And so I've been in the media business for almost 40 years, I guess.
It's been a long time.
Not that I'm that old, but it is what it is.
I don't know why.
I have my own production company, and my production company does commercials, films, television shows, and podcasts, and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But the most important thing that I do in life at this stage is that I have a mentoring program, and I mentor the next generation to take my job, to take my career, take whatever they want to take, because you can't take any of this with you.
That's true. So tell us more about your program that you do. I know that this is a big focus for you and that you love it. So tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, my mentoring program actually started long before I even knew what it was.
Okay.
The person who mentored me back in 83, 84, when I was in college at Prairie View A&M University, she helped me get my first job in the business. Okay. So I went to her and said, well, thank you. It was a weekend job where I was doing the teleprompter. Teleprompter is where you slide the words underneath the camera for the anchors to read. Now you don't do that, everything's electronic.
Yeah. We still kind of have some teleprompter people.
You do, but I literally ripped each script, taped each script together that were about 3 miles, and literally ran them underneath the camera.
That's too much.
And I had to cover all of that. But I was so excited to have that job as a 20-year-old in college, still going to college, and then I had my radio show on the college campus, and I was helping as a student assistant teacher, I guess you could say, professor. Yeah. And I went to her and I said, well, how do I pay you back for helping me get this job? You can never pay me back. The way you pay me back is that when there is someone that you can help, you are always mentor them to give them what you have.
What would you tell your younger self? What have you picked up from mentoring that you would tell your younger self now?
Oh my God, that's such a deep that's a show in itself. What I would tell my younger self? Well, the most important thing I would tell my younger self is to relax. You don't have to race to the finish line and get there before everybody else. And you have nothing to prove to anyone else but yourself. So trust the process. A lot of us, when we're young, we want to go from 0 to 100, not understanding if we go from 0 to 100 and it doesn't work, we don't know how we got there. So we have to go back to 0 anyway. So trust each step that you go through, that it's a learning process. And it's difficult now, I find, and I hope the 20 and 30-year-olds don't get upset with me. For some reason, when I grew up, if somebody older told me something, I believe that they had my best interest at heart, so I listened to them.
Got it.
So that's where my wisdom came in. I always say to people that you only gain wisdom through time, but you can borrow wisdom from other people by listening to people who've gone through the journey or gone through a journey. Even if somebody hasn't gone through what you're going through, they can teach you how to get to the other side. Because for the most part, what I tell young people, when you have a goal in mind and you decide you're going to do something, every obstacle is going to be thrown your way. Everything. Your mama may curse you out, your family may curse you out, your best friend might tell you stupid, you can't do it.
That's true.
But your goal is to get across the street, metaphorically speaking.
You did tell me that.
Once you get across the street, you go, this wasn't so bad. And you know what you do? You set another goal.
Yeah.
Because you just set one goal, and I have a friend now, she's working on a project. But she said, no, I'm not going to do anything else until I finish this project. I asked her the question, if this project never goes where you want it to go, now you got to start over again. You have to work on multiple tracks. And that's the generation I'm from, where you do multiple things at the same time.
Gotcha.
And the most important thing through my mentoring program that I tell, especially young boys, because it's mostly what I mentor, do not be afraid to fail, because you will learn more from failure than you will learn from success. And then you move on from that. Look, I don't ever say this anymore to young people. Don't cry. Because to me, spiritually speaking, when you're crying, it's a way of washing your soul. So, but you can't stay crying. At some point, you got to get off the floor and say, okay, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to move forward every step. I posted something on one of my social media, you know I'm wrong stuff. But one of the social medias I posted on Facebook, Instagram, IG, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I tell me when you're at work, sometimes I'll turn and you say, what is this? How do I do this? But I posted, how far did you move the rock today? Because it's not about how far you move the rock, as long as you're moving the rock. But if you never move the rock, you're falling behind everybody else. And technology is passing us up so fast. And sometimes the way you present yourself in the beginning is the way people perceive you.
Got it. Okay.
So you have to literally put your best foot forward and think about it every time out of the box.
How do you feel like your challenges as a Black man has helped shape who you are now?
Well, it's good and bad.
Okay.
Because the things that you go through as a young person, as a young man, gives you the strength to get through things when you're older. Because you don't look at things the same way. When I was 20, everything bothered me. Oh, why are they doing that to me? Oh, they're doing this to me. Oh, they don't want me. Oh, they don't think I'm good enough. When you're 30, you start going, well, maybe I don't care about that. Yeah. When you're 40, by the time you get to be 50 and you cross over to that 60, you really don't care.
That's true.
Because at that point, you've acquired enough knowledge in your head to go out and do anything you want to do. It's not even about what my best friend thinks or what my parents think or what my other friends think. It's about what I think. What is important to me. At the end of the day, I have to be happy with myself. If I'm not happy with myself, you'll never accomplish anything. If you try to do something for somebody else and say, look at me, I got the latest fashion on, look at me, I got tags on my shoes. That's an inside joke. But you have to do things for yourself. And you can't wait for the magic genie. I always tell people say, oh God, help me lose weight, help me get in shape. No genie is gonna come out of the sky and help you lose weight. Faith without works is dead. If you don't put the work in, it's not going to happen, period. Whether it's your career or your personal life or anything else, you have to put the work in.
I have a question though, because I feel like this was something that you told me when I had started. What is your stance? Can you tell people what's your stance on separating emotion from your job? Because, we had a big debate about this, and I feel like your job, we all know you're at your job more than your home.
Right.
And I feel like, to me, in my view, I think it's important for me to, my emotion kind of needs to be in there because I want to be happy and I want to like what I'm doing. And I feel like I want to like the people I am working around as well. But I know it was a big thing you used to tell me was try to separate your emotion from what you're doing because your bigger things are here, which as we see, Vhannah's Corner. So what is your stance on that?
And I'm about 1,000 years old. And I'm still dealing with that, how to separate and realize that everybody on your job is not your friend. Those are your work friends. Those are not your buddies that you tell everything to, you confide in because you get your feelings hurt.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to separate what you do at work and what you do at home.
That's true.
Leave work at work, come home and do something else. Have some other outlet. Somebody just told me the other day, if you lead with emotions, you will fail every time. Because now you got somebody pulling your strings. If everything that they say to you, I'm going to react this way, I'm going to go that way. Sometimes you just say, that's your business, not mine. The way you want me to act, this has nothing to do with me. This has everything to do with me. I need to control my life. If I want to wear sweaters with zippers all the time, that's my business. Don't tell me to wear a jacket. Don't tell me to wear a muscle shirt. I have to be true to, again, it's about being true to yourself and not letting the emotions of society dictate who you are. Whether you're a black man, white man, green man, purple man, whatever. You have to be understand. First of all, you have to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
Because a lot of men, I happen to grow up with my mother and my father, but you have a lot of young men, especially young men of color, who are growing up without fathers. And it's very difficult to learn how to become a man when you don't live around men.
Okay. You
can pretend. And actually, it's something that I'm actually going through a study with now. And I'm trying to go inside myself and say, even though I grew up with my father, but did I really learn how to become a man? And that's part of my Journey to Manhood Foundation. It's about figuring out what really does it mean to be a man. Does it mean that, oh, I'm strong, oh, I got, what do y'all call it these days, body counts?
Oh my God.
All that kind of stuff. Does that really mean? I won't be teaching you this lingo. I don't know. I like getting young sometimes. My favorite phrase I like now is that.
Say less.
Oh God, I saw that. No, God, I went to the store the other night and I was saying it to the guy. He came over and he said, "Oh, you want to check out here?" I said, "No, I'm gonna check out here." Say less. Oh man, I love that. I love it. So we had a 15-minute conversation because I like talking to young people, because when you talk to younger people, especially now, when they're really free, you learn so much from them.
That's true.
When they're free. Now, if they're trying to be like, oh, everybody else and run with the herd, you learn nothing.
That's true.
Because you realize they're copying somebody else.
Yeah.
What's the other thing I say? Cloud chasing over there?
Yes, cloud chasing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
what advice are you going to give the young people now? What advice would you, for them to take away from this video, what advice would you give?
I'll give this, since we talk about language and coding and code switching and all that kind of stuff. What my mentor told me, she's now 78 years old now, what she told me when I was a young man, and this pertains to something else, but kind of pertains to this. You cannot afford to be bilingual. If you're going to be bilingual, you have to be clear, because you can't run around using slang all the time. Because you know what? If you're going to be a reporter on-air personnel, guess what? Now, this is back in the day when you used certain words. Hi, my name is Charles, and welcome to KPV UFM 91.9. Now, broadcasting is a little bit more lax now, so you can use stuff like I'm finna and I'm gonna, or what I think. At that time, when I recorded my radio show, that wasn't a podcast, radio show, I had to go back and splice all of that out with tape. And tape and cut the little ribbon and everything. I had to splice off. It had to sound like a Walter
I know who Walter Cronkite. Well, they might not. But
it's just a process that you have to go through, and you have to learn. That's what I call the process. See, this is the thing, that if I know how to tie my shoes, I don't even have to wear a pair of shoes that has strings in it ever again. But I know how to tie my shoes. So if I get a pair of shoes, I can tie them. But now you got kids growing up who's never tied a pair of shoes. So it's better to know the knowledge and not have to use it until you have to, opposed to not knowing it at all. And that's what I'm talking about, this English language thing. You know, sometimes all these shortcuts and these shorthand things, a lot of kids can't spell when it comes time to spell stuff. As it is, if you're a journalist, most journalists can't spell anyway. But you have to really know something, because people are going to hear you speak and they're going to see you write. And people are going to judge that even before you come into the room. So you want your persona to enter the room before you get there.
Good point. So that was the first part of the episode, and I hope you stick around to watch the next parts. Vhannah out.